With over 400 celebrity interviews and tons of pop culture nerdiness, Too Opinionated is a safe haven for your inner geek. Find us at meistercon.com or on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. And please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. So excited today. I've got actor Jacob Buster with me. So welcome, Jacob.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I know you got a nice setup there. It looks like a very relaxing place to do an interview.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I just got this whole place set up recently.
Yeah. I saw you had look like a iced coffee there.
Yep, yeah. It's like a chai tea that I've got.
Oh, chai tea. Okay. Yeah, see, my wife drinks that. It would be iced coffee.
That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe a caramel macchiato, maybe.
Yeah, my brother.
I prefer them iced. I like a hot coffee like first thing in the morning, but if I get one out somewhere, I always get iced. Last long.
Yeah, true.
So Jacob, I really appreciate you doing the show. I've been a fan of yours for a little while. You've popped up on a lot of different shows that I've watched over the last few years. I'm like, hey, so when your name came across that you'd be interested in interviewing, I was like, oh, I know who that is.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Like I enjoyed you on Colony because you were like Charlie on Colony. Yeah, and then what was that? Oh, Ballers. You made an appearance on Ballers too.
Yeah, for like 2 episodes or something.
Yeah, and then if like I always go around to my kids and I'm like, this is who I'm interviewing. What have you seen them in? So my oldest, all about the Christmas shows. So she knew that you were in the Christmas Project, and there was like a couple of those.
Yeah. There's a good bit of Christmas stuff going on out here.
Yeah. Well, she absolutely knew, and then she also said you were in the Sister Swap movies.
Yeah, that Hallmark film.
Yeah,
that was a fun
which movie. I didn't know that one. That one, like the Christmas movies, usually I'll at least have heard of them, even if I haven't watched them. But the Sister Swap one, but she said it was really good. Said you were really good in it.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, and she would know because she's very critical about her Hallmark and Christmas movies. So
yeah,
she didn't like it. She'd say, "Oh yeah, that was terrible."
I can be pretty critical about them too. They definitely have to hit right in the sweet spot.
Yeah, but they're the type of movies that you can put on and you know it's going to have a happy ending. So you don't have to, it doesn't make you anxious or anything. You can decorate the tree or whatever you're doing and just relax and have a nice evening. And we don't get as many of those type of shows or movies as we used to.
No, we're definitely in a little bit more of a dark era of.
Yes, like I remember a time when I was like, everything doesn't have to wrap up in a nice bow. It doesn't always have to end in a good way. We could have like real life endings and stuff. But now that's all we get is they're just kind of the bittersweet endings, or it's an ending but not really a good one. But that's kind of the thing now. Now I'm just like, just give me the happy end. Just whatever's going on, just wrap it up in a nice way.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy the kind of realistic ending in a sense. I feel like, I don't know, it gets my brain working, gets me wanting to see some more things and kind of sort out like more stories in my head.
Well, it keeps you guessing. Yeah, I don't know that you need to be guessing in a Hallmark movie, but for the most part, most things you watch, being kind of off guard, not knowing exactly how it's going to end, that's a good thing.
Yeah, if you're decorating the tree, you probably don't want to be like, oh no, is this story going to have a happy ending?
Yeah.
So,
so-and-so went to the big city and got all stressed out. So she came back, to the small town to recharge. And then she gets reminded of all the good things that she left behind.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
That's
We
it.
want those happy endings.
Yep. Every once in a while, you need one of them.
When you filmed those, did you film them in the winter or the summer?
It wasn't like, it wasn't completely summer, but it definitely was warm. We were definitely wearing coats in like 85-degree weather. So the main issue there is in between takes, you're getting rid of the sweat and then going back into it and going like pretending like you're staying warm. But yeah, they definitely do those opposite seasons.
No, you think they'd just do them and release them the next year.
Yeah,
Or
I
do
mean,
them in the right season.
yeah, with Let the Right One In, the very opener of the show, I that was real snow. I was walking barefoot in the snow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, that one was pretty cold. And they're like, you're a vampire, you don't get cold. So I'm like standing there and I'm like, okay, let's go. That one
I
was,
think I'd handle cold better than hot because I
yeah,
sweat.
it's easier to hide for sure. It's easier to hide if you're cold.
As long as you're not shaking.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if your skin is getting red.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing. You gotta keep your skin looking.
I mean, there's a billion reasons why I couldn't be an actor, but I definitely couldn't be an actor in a Christmas movie because they couldn't wipe my face enough to get rid of the sweat. So what would happen? It'd be like everybody would just assume I was the bad guy. That guy, I don't trust that guy, but he always looks sweaty.
Because he just
why is he sweating so much?
Like, what is he hiding? What is he hiding? It's like, I'm not hiding anything. It's just 90 degrees and I'm wearing 8 layers.
So hot. Exactly. So I got us out of sequence a little bit, but let me back us up. So tell me a little bit about what got you into acting. Why'd you want to become an actor?
So I started acting because my family is all very big into the arts. My dad wanted to be an actor. Now he's a writer, director, producer. My mom's a casting director. And so when I was 7, my mom was helping a friend cast a short film that he was making, and they needed a 7-year-old that could cry. And so I would sit on the couch and cry about dinosaurs all day because I wanted to be a paleontologist originally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you crying because there was no more dinosaurs?
No, I was crying because I hated the carnivores, because I hated how they would eat the eggs of dinosaurs, and I would get very upset. And my mom was like, "Well, he cries a lot, so we could see," and that's how I ended up getting into acting. And
we might have a star on our hands.
Crying about the dinosaurs. So yeah.
So have they been supportive of you going into the entertainment business? Because I know sometimes parents are like, I don't know if I want you in.
Yeah, originally it was a little bit of a step for my mom because I mean, my mom's parents, they've been teachers. I believe my grandma teaches math in college, and my mom was teaching math for a bit. So they've been big into education a lot. And so to kind of step from that world into more of like an artistic field instead of the whole straight on was definitely a little bit of a step for her, but we got there. And my dad has always been big into the arts, so he was very supportive always.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Does having a dad that's creative and that writes and a mom that's working kind of behind the scenes and casting stuff, does that make you want to try some of that at some point?
100%. I am right now I'm attempting at least to write a script, trying to get my brain focused on that, sitting down, writing here or there. So I would love to start a production company, maybe be able to direct a little bit. If I'm able to be a part of a show that carries on into multiple seasons, maybe I'd get to work behind the scenes on it.
See, I say that all the time to people. I'm like, you need a show that lasts a while, because at some point they're going to be like, hey, you want to direct an episode?
Yeah, and once you understand your character, like at such a deep level, because you've been like growing with them for some odd years, it's kind of easy to understand the tone of the story, the tone of the character, and just really maybe work on an episode that your character isn't in.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get their start directing, from that very thing. They're comfortable with what they're doing, so it's a little easier to step into it, especially if you're just stepping in for like an episode.
Yeah, 100%. Or if I get my script written and maybe I could direct there. And my brother is a music producer and my younger sister's a dancer. So
oh my gosh,
maybe
get the whole family involved.
Yeah, whole family's all in the arts.
Yeah, that's I mean, how awesome would it be to write something and then have your brother do music for it and your sister to be in it?
Yeah, no, that would be, I mean, that's the dream. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's amazing. What's the genre?
So the genre of what I'm writing in, it's very drama, down to earth, realistic. Yeah. It's kind of a story about somebody dealing with growing up from a religious background and wanting to go into music and become a producer.
Yeah.
And kind of having the life that he finds himself wanting and kind of moving towards with music clashing with the way that he grew up, and kind of trying to figure out how he can kind of make those two work together.
I like that. That's a little different. I mean, you hear that type of story.
Yeah.
That you've heard, but to do it that way with like a music angle, I think that's kind of unique. I like that.
Yeah, we'll see if it could work out, hopefully.
Yeah, next time you come back, we need to be talking about that.
Yeah. Hopefully I can get myself to sit down and write.
Now, that's the hard part, is consistent. Right. My son writes, and that's the hardest part for him, is just being consistent and setting that time to where you sit down and actually write. Even if you don't end up getting a whole lot down, just the process of having that consistent time to do it. Eventually, maybe you produce something.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So okay. So you're playing Peter in Let the Right One In, which, love the movie. All right. So I'm super excited about the show. You're really good.
Thank you.
Really good. Yeah. A little creepy at times, but yeah, pretty good. But tell me a little bit about that. How'd that role come about, and what's it like, getting to play like a, creature of the night?
Yeah, so well, I mean, that role came about just like any other, just an audition that ends up coming in, and you set aside some time, throw down an audition, move on with your day. At that point in time, I was working with my brother at a restaurant here. I was hosting at a breakfast, and I ended up getting a call back, so I took a day off, went back home, did my callback, and I actually figured out that I got the role while I was in Disney. Like, I figured out that it was actually happening, and I was like,
well, that'd make a nice trip to Disney.
Yeah. I was in line for It's a Small World, and I got a call, and I was like,
oh, that's nice. So were you in the LA Disney?
Yeah. I was over in California.
Yeah.
But I think playing Peter has been, I would say, a step in the right direction. It's just the people that are on that set are wonderful people on and off camera. It's really lovely to be able to work with them. And that was one of my first projects alone. Like I had worked alone here in Utah, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I would come home, see my family all around, and then go back. But with that, I moved out there for 5 odd months. I had just turned 18.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Like a month and a half before. And so to be able to go out there and have everybody out there be just very talented, down to earth, humble, wonderful people, was so great. And I'm very, very grateful that I got to be able to work alongside those people.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Was it surreal to be hosting in a restaurant, 1 minute, and then you're off filming a show the next minute?
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit surreal. I had a good amount of time in there because we had filmed the pilot, and we had to
wait. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few months there where we didn't have anything
Had you
going on.
seen the movie?
I hadn't. I
Good
when
movie.
yeah, so I had booked it. We did the pilot and everything, and after I did the pilot, I was like, I kind of want to see this film. I want to see what this is based off of. And we were a bunch of friends of mine. We were all in a cabin, like 4 hours south, and
Yeah.
while we were in the cabin, we looked through a few movies and found the original Swedish film. And I was like, oh, we have to watch it.
Have to.
Watch the film there. And then after that was when I figured out that it got picked up in Disney and was able to go out and film the full show.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Did you go as a vampire for Halloween?
No, I was thinking about it for sure. I was walking through a little costume store with one of my friends looking for a costume for his younger sister and then for the both of us. And his little sister ended up being Elsa, which is always a great one.
Of course.
Yeah, my friend ended up being a inmate at like a prison, and I couldn't find anything in my size. So I came back and used one of my brother's costumes, and I was one of the guards from Squid Games.
Oh, that's a pretty good costume.
Yep. Pink jumper and the mask. It was a pretty cool one.
It's pretty good. I think they're doing an American version of that.
Really? They are?
Yeah, you should try out for that.
Huh. That would be a fun story to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to have a second season, of the original, but we steal everything if we can. If it's good, we're going to try it.
Yeah.
We're going to try it. And other countries probably do that with our stuff. I don't know, but we see something good that's good. And we're like, we could this. Why not?
Yeah, we need to get some more originals,
Well, you've got an idea, maybe that'll help.
Hopefully.
It is a really good cast.
In Squid Games or
no, for Let the Right One In. Well, yes, Squid Games, very good cast, but
yeah. I would agree for both, yeah. Yeah.
When your mom watches the show, does the casting director come out, or can she just sit and enjoy the show? Does she watch it and be like, it's not the right
person? Depending on the show, yes, it can come out of her. But for Let the Right One In, she's been pretty pleased with.
It's a good cast.
I have too. But it's actually very funny. My younger sister, she's 13, and I've moved out. My brother and I have moved out and gotten our own place. And every once in a while, when I go back to my dad's, my mom's, and see her, she'll come up to me and she'll go, "When's the next episode of the show out?" She's like, "It's so good." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "You're watching the show? That's so cool." I was like, "How are you?" I was like, "Okay, cool. Sounds great."
Well, she's 13. She's old enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect her to seek that out, I thought she would have other things going on, but it's very cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Did you do something working with your dad, or a story that he had done? Or did you have a role in something?
Yeah, the Christmas Project. My dad directed that. And
yeah, that's okay. That's probably what I'm thinking of.
Also a film called Saturday's Warrior. My dad directed.
Saturday's Warrior. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, we've been able to do a few projects within the family and looking to do more.
That's pretty awesome that you've got just a creative family like that. I mean, how great would it be to get to work with your brother, your dad, your sister, your mom?
Be awesome.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty great. So when you work with your dad, when you come home or when you're done working and stuff, does it just go back to normal, or when you get home, are you still talking, set talk?
Well, typically when I did those films with my dad directing, my mom would take me to set because my dad would have to get there a little bit earlier and look at things and get back a little bit later. And we were all pretty beat, so we would kind of just get home, head to bed, get back to set. During the filming time, it was a lot of just director, actor, not so much dad, son type
Yeah.
deal.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at, is it, how does that relationship work? But I'm assuming when you're on set, it's just very professional.
Yeah, but it's very nice to have a relationship where, like, he's not trying to spare my feelings. He's not just like, oh yeah, you're great. Like if there's something that he wants, or if there's something that he needs, he's comfortable enough to come tell me like, hey, this isn't what I'm looking for. I need this, or I need this to be here. Because the truth is it's not criticism. It's just
Well, that's
acting.
right. Yeah, that's just
Like,
acting. If you can't take direction, you're probably not gonna last very long.
exactly. And to be able to take direction and to have a director that's comfortable enough to give you these things, in my mind, means that they trust you enough, that they believe that what, like, you have what they need, which is a comfortable feeling as an actor.
Yeah. I think it would be. Did you have to wear a lot of makeup for Let the Right One In?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
definitely. As the show went on, it got faster, and the people that were doing my special effects, absolutely wonderful. Crystal and Mel, they were great. They made the whole situation very.
How long did it take you to get into the
about 3 hours on.
Oh, that's a lot.
3 hours on in the beginning. As the show went on, it got to about 2 maybe ish.
That's still a long time.
Yeah, it was a lot of gluing on foam prosthetics and then painting and making it all blend together well, and then like just a lot.
I mean, because it's not like you're filming at noon. You're doing it early in the day, so you're probably gonna be there early.
Yeah, they would start filming at like 7, so I would be in the chair by 4, driving there at like 3:30.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, no, the thing is obviously watching yourself as an actor is hard because you're your own biggest critic, and you'll be like, oh, that there, or that there, that there. But going out to film this show was definitely a bit of a mental challenge for me as well, because it was my first time doing prosthetics, and it was so much all at once. And then it was also my first time moving out alone to New York. And so a lot of the show, I'll look back and I'll be like, ooh, I would maybe change that or change that. But it's growing and learning as a person. So
yeah, I think that's terrific. What a learning experience. And I've always heard that once you've shown that you can wear prosthetics and stuff, that can help you down the road. If they have a role where you're like, well, can he handle this stuff? Well, yeah, he's done that before.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Is there a genre that you haven't got to play that you'd like to try?
I've taken little steps in a direction of comedy, but I haven't been able to do like a full-blown comedy, and I think that could be fun. I definitely think drama is my favorite and where I'd like to stay, but I think comedy, there's no harm in it. Could be a fun little experience.
Could be fun. And now that you've played a vampire, a lot of vampire shows out there.
True. Yeah. Take another step into that direction.
We don't get enough crossovers from different vampire characters from shows.
No, we really don't. I think
that would be a neat way to do it. You just throw one in. It doesn't have to be a big part, but just throw in a vampire from another series on it.
That could be pretty fun.
I'd enjoy that.
How different vampires are written from script to script. So it could be funny to watch.
Yeah.
Of like such a hyper realistic story, like Let the Right One In, then put into like a Twilight. It would be an interesting mix to see that.
Fun.
So it's very romantic and stuff, but then the other one's very dark, and like it would be an interesting idea to see those combined.
I'd watch that movie.
Yeah.
Show. I think that'd be fun.
Could be fun.
It's probably time for a Lost Boys remake.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Throwing that in there. You're of the right age.
Yeah. Maybe try and write some of that.
Well, there you go. You've got everything you need right there at the house.
100%.
It's like everybody in the family does something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could get a whole little team together, get something going.
I mean, that's pretty exciting. That's pretty good, and it's rare, I think, to to come from a family that understands the business.
100%. And I think I'm really lucky to have the family that I do, because there's a lot of people that I've been able to work with that had to really figure it out all on their own and kind of take these steps in a direction that they didn't know whether it was going to work or not. And I was lucky enough, and I'm grateful that I had a family that was able to kind of guide me in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And you've got siblings that can help you and be supportive in that stuff, because they're creative too. I think that's terrific. Usually you see with a family, you got one person's creative, and then if you have other siblings, they're like good at other stuff.
Yeah, typically you get very different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Well, Jacob, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time. Big fan of yours, and I know you're just getting started, but it's been cool seeing you pop up in some different shows, and now you're like on a show.
Yeah, it's definitely a new experience for me to be doing this now at this age.
Yeah, because I'm assuming we'll get at least a few seasons.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, I think you will. It's well done.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, of course. You got to come back when you get the script written, or you got the next big thing. You got to come, or even the next season, or let the right one in. We'll
have to combine them all into one.
So a couple little things, Jacob, before we wrap up. Anything else that you're working on that we can keep an eye out?
Right now, I'm pretty much just I've got a project coming out called Aliens Abducted My Parents, and now I feel kind of left out.
I know, that's the best title I've ever heard.
It's a little 80s. It's kind of a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids title vibe.
It is. Yeah, I love it.
That one's pretty fun. It's very family oriented, and it's a new concept, I think. So that one's pretty fun. And then other than that, writing my own scripts, moving out, getting my own life.
A lot.
Turning 18, becoming an adult.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of change all at once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been very different.
Yeah. Yeah, but fun.
100%. Yeah. I'm glad I've been able to take this step.
Yeah, that's terrific. Well, so last thing, Jacob, before we wrap, where can we find you on social media?
So main thing I use is just Instagram. It's just Jacob_Buster, and should be the one that pops up there. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah, you were pretty easy to find. It comes right up. It's not like Mike Wall, where there's like 8 billion of us out there. Yours is pretty easy too.
Yeah, the double B, the end of the Jacob and the beginning of the Buster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. Jacob Buster is a very Hollywood name, I think. Like it's very action star.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's an interesting one to have that, because you typically go Jacob Buster, like you kind of combine them into one sound.
Yeah, into one sound.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, thank you so much, and definitely let's do this again.
Perfect. Yeah, let's set it up.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, 1 second. So the talented Jacob Buster, Let the Right One In my opinion, one of the better vampire movies that has been out in a while, and the show does it credit. It does a really nice job of kind of continuing reimaging that story from the movie, and Jacob is terrific in it. So if you haven't watched it yet, give it a try, especially if you're a kind of the old school monster vampire movie watcher person like I am. Definitely think you'll enjoy that one. And Jacob's just a really talented actor. I really did like him in Colony and in Ballers, both really good. And I know we're just kind of scratching the surface of what he's going to accomplish. I think he's a really talented young man. Sounds like the whole family is talented. They're all involved, and I think that could be a lot of fun. I hope at some point they get to all work on the same project together. That would be really cool. Thank you guys for tuning in again this week. If you like what you hear, or you like what you watched, and you want to help us, we can definitely use the help, and you can do it in a couple of ways. If you're watching, our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. It's free. Really help us out. If you're listening, just wherever you're listening, subscribe, and that will also help us out. You can find, we posted number 482 today, episode number 482, and you can find all of those, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. So definitely check that out, and it'll also let you know if we're covering a convention, if we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location. We'll put that on the website so you can kind of keep track of us. And we have got some really exciting news coming. I can't wait to let you guys know. It's big news, but that'll be coming soon, and you can find out about that on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.